Okay, today we're going to be calculating fractions of amounts using a calculator. And to do this, we're going to be using what we call a decimal multiplier. In the past, we'll have calculated percentages without using a calculator. So we might have done something like this. To find 16% of 120, we find 10% of 120 first by dividing by 10, so that would be 12. Once we've got that, we can find 5% of 120 by halving the 10%, that would be 6. Finding 1% is relatively straightforward as well because we divide by 100, so that will be 1.2. And then we can add together the 10, the 5 and the 1 to give us the 16% of 120. That would be 12, add 6 is 18, add 1.2 is 19.2. And that's a method that I'm sure many of you are familiar with. Now, if you have your calculator, you can still use that method, but there's a much more efficient and quicker method, which is called the decimal multiplier. And what we do is we change the 16% to a decimal. Now we can do that on our head because 16% is 0.16. And then instead of saying of, we can change that to a multiply. And then we simply multiply that by original amount 120. So 0.16 multiplied by 120, of course, gives me the same answer, 19.2. But if you've got a calculator, this is quicker and more efficient. And what it means is that you can do more complicated numbers in a quicker and more accurate method. So to find 11% of 42, you change 11% to a decimal, 0.11, multiply by 42, and then just type that into your calculator, and you get the answer 4.62. And I'm sure you'll agree that's much quicker than working out 10% and 1% and adding them together. You can find more difficult ones like 67% just as quick. 0.67 multiplied by 419. It's a big number, but it doesn't take any more time because you're simply using your calculator. And that's 280.73. And this final one is a really good example because it's quite a complicated percentage and a difficult number to work with decimals, but it's still fairly straightforward. 6% will be 0.06, so 6.2% is 0.062 multiplied by 21.14. Just key that into your calculator, 0.062 multiplied by 21.14, and you get the answer 1.31068. It's good to check that it looks about right, that it's around approximately the right idea, but using your calculator and using the decimal multiplier can save you a lot of time, and it's a very efficient method.